Hello everyone. So I want to show you how to find out if the person is living a monk life by looking at the chart. Okay. So first of all, look at the ascendant. Ascendant is starting from Scorpio. Ascendant is the starting point. It shows the point of birth. So accordingly, the ascendant is in 22 degrees of Scorpio. Scorpio is the natural eighth zodiac, natural eighth house. So it carries the energy of transformation. Eighth house represents losses, transformation. What you think you have at 1 minute, the next minute it may not be there. The next minute it may come back again, and once again you may lose it. That's the type of scenario happens when somebody has a strong eighth house or strong Scorpio. Okay, so we see that. Like this person's ascendant starts from 22 degrees of Scorpio. So that itself says that, okay, something is there. Then from the ascendant, you always have to look at the first planet that becomes the starting point of life after ascendant. Okay. Because ascendant means your birth. Yes, birth is a starting point. But the planetary placements show how they are going to act and react. Okay. So for this person, Ketu is the first planet after the ascendant. Do not look at the moon because moon is behind ascendant. Okay. So moon is behind ascendant. So it marks the time before birth. So when he was born, moon was under the horizon. So moon was not even seen. Okay. It was right behind, yes, but still it was under the horizon. It was about to rise. Okay. So Ketu becomes the first planet. So that is another indication. Then you see in the sixth house, Mars is there. Mars in the sixth house shows somebody with a strict daily routines. Especially this Mars is very powerful because it is in its Mula Trikona position and it is also the ascendant lord. Ascendant lord goes to the sixth house means that person has to have daily habits. It's like ritual for them. Only then their daily life will have a constant balance, steady lifestyle they will have. If they do not maintain daily routines, then they will always have ups and downs. Okay. So that itself shows another indication, the third indication. Because monk life is like a military personnel's lifestyle. Okay. Then you see Sun and Venus conjunction aspects the ascendant. But this is not a big indication. Okay, let it be. Then we go to Mercury. Mercury in the eighth house. Mercury in its own sign, but the sign Gemini goes to the eighth house. And Mercury is in Ardra. Ardra Nakshatra is somebody who wants to think out of the box or who wants to do things out of the box. Okay. So it's like a different lifestyle. So Mercury represents communication, your thinking ability. So this person's communication and thinking ability are connected to the eighth house and Ardra. Very out of the box thinking. They communicate philosophically. And then ninth house Jupiter. Jupiter is also in the ninth house, very powerfully placed, exalted position. So once again, it carries the same energy. And this Jupiter is also aspecting the ascendant. So once again, this person is very philosophical. That sadhu lifestyle is coming into the purview. Then we see Saturn and Rahu are in the 10th house, the mid heaven. 10th house is the highest point in the sky. So when he was born, Saturn and Rahu were in the midpoint of the sky, in the mid heaven. So whenever Saturn Rahu are conjunct in a zodiac, that person carries a lot of responsibility associated with that house. So this person has a lot of responsibility towards the society because 10th house is the social obligation, societal obligation, whatever he has to do for the society, that becomes paramount. So he is a teacher, he is a guru type of a person. Okay. And then we see 11th and 12th house are empty. Although we have Uranus here, but still the nine planets, none of them are here, neither in the 11th house nor in the 12th house. Then we see moon in Anuradha. Anuradha nakshatra represents devotion, dedication, and moon is also debilitated here. It represents the groundedness. Okay. And Scorpio is also like a very grounded zodiac. It represents things that are deep underground, like a cave, burrow, like that. So when you see all these things, life starts from Ketu and ends in moon, Scorpio moon. So as soon as you see this, you can clearly understand this is a chart of a person who follows a monk style life. Okay. Whether he is a monk or not, that's uh, beyond the question. First, when you see this itself shows clearly, you don't have to go to the Navamsha or the Shamsha or Sashtyamsha. No. Just by looking at it, you can easily say where his life starts and where the life ends. Okay. So just by looking at that, like the first planet and the last planet, their positions, that shows everything clearly. And then I will tell you another thing. Within the age of 35, before the age of 35, he had been through three major scenarios where he would have lost his life. Okay. One was in his Mercury Dasha. Okay. In his, I think it was in his late, no, early 20s in Mercury Saturn Dasha. Next one was in Ketu Dasha. It was in Ketu Mars Dasha when he was around 29 years old. The third scenario was in Venus Dasha when the Venus period started. I will tell you. So first one, Mercury Saturn Dasha. If you see, like how do you understand the Dasha? By reading the chart from the Dasha, right? So if you put Mercury's position as the ascendant, what do you see? From the position of Mercury, Saturn rules the eighth house. Saturn itself is the Karaka of the eighth house. And from Mercury's position, Saturn is also ruling the eighth house. And where is Saturn? In the third house from Mercury. And what is the third house? Third house is the Bhavat Bhavam of the eighth house. Bhavat Bhavam means the higher aspect of that house. Okay. So when he was going through Mercury Saturn Dasha, the first time he faced near death experience. Okay. Also, Mercury is eighth from the ascendant. That is one another indication. Then the second time was in the Ketu Dasha, I told you. So Ketu itself is the Karaka of the eighth house. Ketu naturally carries the energy of the eighth house. That's why even in the natural scheme of houses like zodiacs, like Scorpio is the natural original eighth house, right? So Scorpio is co-ruled by Ketu because Ketu carries that energy of eighth house, near the death experience, living a minimalistic life, leaving things at will, constant transformations, constant ups and downs, okay, and a monk style life, everything. So from Ketu, if you see once again, Mars is in the third house. Third house is once again the Bhavad Bhavam of the eighth house. And if you see the eighth lord is Mercury, which is trine to Ketu. And Ketu is also aspecting this Mercury. So there is a trinal connection. Not only that, also Ketu is aspecting this Mercury. And Ketu is above degrees, like Ketu is before Mercury. So Mercury is moving towards Ketu because Ketu is in 18 degrees and Mercury is in 6 degrees. So that is another indication. He had been through another near death experience at that time. Then the third one happened by the time of Venus Dasha, when Venus Dasha started. So Venus is seventh from ascendant. Okay. Not only that, Venus is also the ruler of the 12th house. Okay. So 12th house also carries the energy of the 8th house. Like both talk about leaving things at will. Both talk about losses. 8th house talks about immediate losses. 12th house talks about continuous losses, like forever loss. Okay. So the 12th house from the ascendant. Let me go back to the ascendant. So the 12th house is ruled by Venus. The 12th lord is Venus, which is aspecting the ascendant. Okay. So once again, let's go back to Venus. So from Venus, if you see, ascendant goes to the seventh house. The sixth lord is also Venus. So what is sixth lord? What is sixth house? Constant obstacles, constant delays, chronic health issues. He did not go through that, but this near death experience, I'm telling you. So if you look at Venus, Venus is the 12th lord from the ascendant. So that is one indication. And then from Venus, if you see Mars in the 12th house, Mars is the ascendant lord. Or in this case, if you see the seventh lord is Mars, goes to the 12th house in a very powerful position. Okay. So this is like experiencing the near death experience at will. Okay. It's like somebody who tries to take their life away at their own will. Like that kind of experience he had. Okay. Like he did not try to commit suicide or something, but he like the way monks do, in that way he did. Okay. Then specific things are there. I will explain you maybe in the later videos. Here I do not want to. It will become an elaborate analysis. I just want to show you these things only. Okay. Then from Venus, once again, if you see Jupiter, the third lord, sorry, the eighth lord, goes to the third house. Okay. Previously, I showed you from Mercury that the eighth lord goes to the third house. Third house is the Bhavad Bhavam of the eighth house. So in Mercury, Saturn, that first near death experience happened. The same way, if you see from Venus, Jupiter is the eighth lord, and Jupiter goes to the third house in a powerful position. And third house is also Bhavad Bhavam of the eighth house. So once again, in Venus period, this third experience happened. But every single time he came out of it, he came out of it with better health, in the sense with what to say, flying colors, with more strength, much stronger. He came back. Every time he had experienced that, he started moving one step ahead. towards his spiritual journey. According to him, that's what he told me. Okay. So if you see that, why this is like we have seen why this is happening. All these are indications. Like Ketu and Rahu axis is in Saturn, is in connection with the Saturn. Saturn is also the Karaka of the eighth house. Ketu is also the Karaka of the eighth house, and they both are in fourth and tenth axis. So whenever Rahu Ketu comes into the axis of 4 and 10th house, and Saturn also comes there, this makes a person a very strong manipulative one. Either they will experience manipulation from others or they themselves will become manipulative. And if you speak to this person, you will start thinking philosophically after a few times of conversation with him. Okay. That's the type of energy he brings into the table. Then sixth house Mars, very powerful, and that means he has a strict daily routines, the monkhoodness. Okay. Then, okay, let's come back to this topic, like how he survived every single time and how he became better every single time. Very simple. Jupiter and Venus both are aspecting the ascendant. Venus is the Sanjeevani. Sanjeevani means that which brings back life. Okay. Venus has the power to bring back life, bring someone back to life from deathbed. And Jupiter is the Jiva, the life itself. So when they both are aspecting Venus through the seventh house and Jupiter through the fifth house, when they both are aspecting the ascendant and the moon, this person always comes back from troubles. Okay. At a young age, he was also about to be arrested, like he was about to be imprisoned once, but he came out of that trouble as well. That's also very simple. You can see like the seventh lord and the 12th lord, both are Venus, and Venus is aspecting the ascendant. And Saturn Ketu, they also bring that energy of getting locked up. And since Saturn and Rahu are in the 10th house, that's another indication. See, this doesn't mean everybody who has Saturn and Rahu will go through such scenario every time in their life. Okay. When you have a lot of things showing that this person will go through such lifestyle of a monk or somebody who is living in an ashram or isolation in the sense also like imprisonment like that, then only you can come to that conclusion. There has to be several indications. Okay. So here that's what I'm saying. Like Ketu and Rahu with the Saturn in the 410 axis. Saturn and Rahu in the 10th house. If this Saturn is here in the 4th house or here in the 3rd house, scenario would have been different. But it is in the 10th house. And then ascendant Lord goes to the 6th house. In ashrams, you have to maintain strict daily routines. In the hospitals, you have to maintain that. In the prison, you have to maintain that. So, do you get it? And then Jupiter aspecting. Jupiter is the Guru, the heavy one. Jupiter is the gas giant. The heaviness is there. So, when Jupiter is aspecting, once again that heaviness comes to the picture. He is strictly maintaining his diet, his spiritual practices, his daily life. He's an unmarried single person, like he's living a monk life. That's what. Mercury represents your what to say, how you handle things on a daily basis. Whether you take things lightly or you overthink all these things. And if you see, his Mercury is in the eighth house. Eighth house represents that leaving things at will. I told you. Okay. And the planet Mercury in eighth house shows that he's like Ah, I lost something, so what? It's okay. I'll get it back again if I want to. That kind of attitude he has. And Moon in Anuradha, very devoted to his devoted to his lifestyle, devoted to his word. Okay, because Anuradha is ruled by Saturn in the 10th house. Saturn in the 10th house, and Hora Lord is also Saturn. So such is the person he is. Devoted to his word, his lifestyle, his health, committed to his environment, everything. So this is what I wanted to show you. Like when you look at a chart, within a few seconds, okay, seconds we let it be. Within a few minutes, where the life starts, like where the ascendant is, and then what is the first planet and what is the last planet. By looking at that, you can already understand how the life of of this person is. So main thing here you have to take is the ascendant in Scorpio, then Ketu and Moon. Okay. So what do you know about Ketu Moon conjunction or Ketu Moon in the same axis? Whenever Ketu and Moon are connected, that itself shows that the person has to live a life of a monk because Moon represents your contentment, your happiness, your comfortable lifestyle. When Ketu comes into contact with the Moon, it takes away all those things. It will give back once again because Ketu is always connected to Rahu. So what Ketu takes, Rahu gives back. So it will always give you back, but it will take first, take away first. So when you become content with what you do not have no more, then Ketu will start giving you. Then once again you become so attached to it because Moon represents your attachment. So when you become so attached, Ketu will take away. When you become content with losing things, Ketu will give you back. This is the roller coaster theme of Ketu. Okay. So when you have Moon and Ketu connection, you always have to practicing or leaving things at will. Then you will see things will naturally come back. Even things you do not even think about, that will also come to you. Like I'm talking about good things. Okay, that's the power of Ketu. Okay, so that's what we see here. The first planet, Ketu, and the last planet, Moon. So take these two planets and the ascendant. That's it, you get the picture. Also, yes, one more thing is ascendant is in 22 degrees of Scorpio, which is Mrityu Bhaga degree. Okay. So here you can see like it is exactly like just 6 minutes away from the actual point of Mrityu Bhaga. Mrityu Bhaga represents the themes of the eighth house. So he already has the natural eighth sign as the ascendant, and ascendant is at 22 degrees, which is also Mrityu Bhaga degree. So this is classic example of somebody who's leading a lifestyle of a monk. Okay. And Sun and Venus in the seventh house, like a very powerful Venus. So that itself shows that seeing things are no longer, he is no longer interested in Venus related things. Because for him, he always feels like, oh, I'm having Venus already, like that. Like he is leading a content life, minimalistic life. So he is not worried about like I want this because Venus represents your pleasures, luxury lifestyle, spouse. But he is not interested in all these things because he has a strong Venus. This is why people with exalted Venus also struggles with marriage. Either they will have late marriage or they would have gone through multiple relationships. Because of that, they have lost interest in marriage. Or even if they get married in time, their marriage will go through a lot of troubles, that they will not have a happy marriage. So these are the things you have to understand. Like whenever, see, if you want to have a proper luxurious life and all, you need to have an average or less than average Venus. Okay. Because a strong Venus will make you think that you already have everything. Okay. Then Sun is also there. So technically this Venus is not combust. But Sun is the light, the powerful planet. So what happens? Naturally, the Venus is also like acting like Sun, becomes very powerful. Okay. So because of that, he is not interested in material lifestyle, leading a minimalistic lifestyle. Okay. So anyway, guys, thank you so much.